Hello everybody, another different video today. Yeah, I'm just making these because these are fun, and I like talking about them, and it's good conversation. Today's topic, is the book really better than the movie? So I kind of had this thought one day as I was watching a video about the I'm sorry that I'm saying the name of this movie. The Artemis Fowl movie made by Disney that was on Disney Plus. If you never heard of it, good. Don't watch it. Please don't watch it. Don't give Disney any support for this because this is a very, very crappy movie. It's based on a book series that I absolutely love. And before you guys question where I'm going with this, yes, the book Artemis Fowl is better than the movie. But this video about the movie actually made me question something about the books. So there's a particular part that this guy, I'll leave a link to his video actually in the iCard up here in case you want to see that video. He actually mentions something about the fairies not being able to infiltrate Artemis's house. The reason is because Artemis said no, and they just like, you know, oh, we can't infiltrate the house. He said no. He has one of our officers kidnapped, so not going to infiltrate it because he said no. But I remember there was a reason why they couldn't infiltrate his house because I read the books. So then I was like, why couldn't they go in again? So then I had to ask my sisters because I couldn't remember, and they said, oh, it's because the fairy magic works where like they have to ask permission to go into a human's house, and then they can go in their house. It's like they're bound by the law to keep separate from the humans. I was like, oh, okay. That's pretty lazy writing, even for the book. Like, think about it. That's kind of dumb in general. That's very lazy, and it's kind of like an excuse to get the character Mulch to like dig underground and come up out of the house because he doesn't use magic, so that's why he could go in. It's very lazy. Like, why would you just make that where you can't like infiltrate a house and then it's too convenient for the main character Artemis. That's why when I actually thought about it, it was kind of like dumb. The book is still better than the movie. That was like the only thing from the book I can think of that was just kind of dumb. I might actually go back and check it out again because I know I actually started to think about certain things about books now. Is the book really better than the movie? Like, is it actually better than the movie? Like, do we think about it? My whole thought process was, when we read the book, we're so busy reading it and imagining everything, trying to piece everything together in our minds, just let our mind run wild, that we forget to question how the story's being told. Like, when you watch a movie, everyone critiques the crap out of movies. Like, you could take pieces of movies and just like make it seem like a terrible movie from just like critiquing every single little thing about it. But I don't see a lot of people do that with books too much. Whether it's not, it might just be because I'm more of a movie watcher than a book reader, and maybe if there's people that read a lot of books, also critique their books as much as people critique movies. Maybe I'm wrong about this. Maybe people actually do critique books just like how people critique movies, but I never really met anyone like that. I think what happens is that when we watch a movie, we actually see it, and then our brains don't function where we're trying to imagine everything. Our brains function where, how'd that happen? Why did they do this way? Why didn't this happen? That doesn't make sense. That's kind of lazy writing right there. Why'd they do it like that? That was kind of weird. Like, for example, Lord of the Rings. Honestly, best trilogy of all time. Here's what I'm going to say about the books. And this is when I started to actually question this thought that came in my head, is the book actually better than the movie? I read Lord of the Rings like till the council meeting. When I hit the council meeting on the first book, I stopped reading. The council meeting was way too long. They cut it down to like 5 minutes in the movie, I think, maybe 5 minutes at the least. Like, why is that so long in the book? Like, then I started to think, like, why? There's certain things in the book that don't make sense. Like, why are you saying the book's better when it has so many things in it? It's like, why is that there? Why is Tom Bombadil there? Why is he, what's the point of Tom Bombadil in the books? He shows up in the first book, never shows up again. Because then I had to look up, and I asked my sister who read all of them, even The Hobbit, like, what was the point of Tom Bombadil? He never shows up again, and he's just gone. He does these weird things, like, the whole time. He sees Sam, Frodo, Merry, Pippin, he saves them from the trees, drowning them in the ground. That's the best way I could describe that. And then he sends them off naked after they leave his house. And then I like question, like, why can Tom Bombadil put the ring on? He doesn't turn invisible. Why does the ring not affect him? Why does he have a wife, and why is his wife so hot? Like, there's so many questions about that chapter. I'm like, why is that here? Like, they don't put the character in the movie, and I'm happy they didn't put the character in the movie because it makes no sense at all. Like, in the book, it's just a bizarre chapter in the book. There's no point to it whatsoever. It does nothing for the story. It's such a weird moment. If it was like supposed to be like kind of get to know like creatures of the world that don't really influence the story that much, but then have no reason to introduce that in the first place, that's very lazy. And Tolkien's a very weird writer anyway, so that's the only thing that makes sense why that's there, because Tolkien just writes very odd. Like, he'll put unnecessary details into one thing and then put less details into something that you want to know more about. Like, oh, they won the war, Battle of Five Armies. It's literally 5 pages. But like, we all know a war takes a lot longer than 5 pages if you were to put it like on the movie screen. TV screen, whatever. Like, I now question things, and I'm now like critiquing the books more now and actually thinking about, is the book really better? And then even the Forrest Gump movie, I've met people that have read the book and watched the movie, and they say the movie's way better than the book. The book is completely different, and they say the book isn't really that good anyway. In fact, I can even think of another movie, the newest Pet Sematary. They actually changed one thing about the book, which is that spoiler alert if you don't want to get spoiled for this movie. What happens in Pet Sematary is when something dies, you can bury it in this ground, they come back to life, but they come back different and freaky. And they do that with the cat, and then the cat's in the middle of the road, then one of the kids goes to get the cat, and the kid gets run over by a truck, and they want to bury the kid in the ground, the kid comes back. In the book, it's the little boy, but the little boy isn't as close to the cat as he is with his sister. So in the movie, they actually changed it where the sister's the one that gets buried, because she's the one that's more attracted to the cat, because the cat she was closest to than anyone else in the family. So that makes more sense story-wise than the little boy going out there to see the cat. So there's things like that where they change in the movie that makes more sense. So when we say the book is better, what do we mean by that when we say the book is better? Is it really better, or are we just biased because we read the book and we imagine it in this particular way that, oh, the movie is not the exact way I imagined it, so it's not as good? Then I think we've missed the whole point of what books are. It's just to make your own imagination flow. It's just to let your own imagination take over on how you picture these characters, how you imagine them, and instead of like questioning, how does the author interpret these characters? How's he trying to interpret these characters? On film, it's different because you can, the director, the writers and director will make exactly what the character they're trying to make, and the actor is going to portray the character exactly how they want them to be portrayed in the movie, because you see them act this certain way, and then they do these certain things to define their character. Their actions will speak for what they will speak for what they believe in. A movie just puts more detail and shows you more than a book does. A book leaves you to imagine everything. So if we think the book is better, then we're basically saying our version is better than everyone else's. Am I wrong about that? I mean, I read this series called Crispin. I pictured the characters differently than my mom did. My mom pictured this one character named Bear differently than how I pictured Bear. If I was to make a movie about it, my mom probably would think, oh, that's not how I pictured him, and she doesn't like it. Is the book really better than the movie, or is the movie actually showing that the book really isn't that great? Which is really my next question. If the movie based on a book is not that good, does that mean the book really just wasn't that good? Because if it's based on the book, that's where it's getting its storyline. Now, I know you're going to say in the comments, now before what you say in the comments, I know what you're going to say, that if they change like the entire story of the book, like Artemis Fowl, they did so much stuff wrong in that movie, where they changed too much stuff, they left out details, and they tried to skip to like the second book, which was stupid. They tried to put the second book and the first book together, and then it just was just stupid. Like, there are cases with that where they're not true to the book. Lord of the Rings is true to the book. There's many movies that are very true to the book, like The Godfather, and you can name so much more in the comment section if you want. So, is the book really better than the movie? In some cases, no. In some cases, yes. If the movie stinks, and even though they did everything that the book was, then really, maybe the book wasn't even that great to begin with, if the movie was not that good. Or even they changed the movie, or maybe they even changed the book entirely, like How to Train Your Dragon. The books are not like the movie at all. And the books kind of stink. I do want to end the video with this though. If you ever read a book and they're gonna make it into a movie and you're gonna freak out because they're making a movie out of it, you think they're gonna ruin it, just think about what you read in the book. Is it really that good? Is it really? Because maybe you imagined the characters differently and you actually made the book good because of how you imagined it. You imagined it in a particular way that actually made it good. But what if the book in the first place just really wasn't that good, but you made it good because of your imagination? Because how you imagine how the story went, and you imagine how the characters are. So that's just something interesting I thought about this week. It crossed my mind after the video I saw, and then we were watching Lord of the Rings and I thought about it, because people complain that Tom Bombadil wasn't in the movies. I'm happy he's not in the movies. If you like Tom Bombadil, you can like him. I don't care if you like him. I just don't like Tom Bombadil, okay? That's all I got for this video. I want to do more like this because it's a lot of fun. I like talking about this kind of stuff. I would like to see your response in the comments. Excuse me. I hope this camera was recording the whole time. If it wasn't, that would be very embarrassing because I'd be staring at nothing over here for the whole time. Anyway, thank you guys so much for watching. And watch out for gangsters.